Gentlemen, welcome back live to Butlins Minehead! Second round action of the Ladbrokes Players Championship Finals, brought to you by the Professional Darts Corporation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, live on ITV Sport, it's time to meet the players. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Needle, Keegan Brown, and the reigning and defending three-times Players' Championship Finals winner, MVG Mighty Michael and Gerwen.
Michael van Gerwen looks as though he means business. Alan Warren-Little and John Rawling have got their game faces on, no doubt, as well.
Definitely. MVG didn't really get out of third gear in beating Matthew Edgar 6-1 in the first round last night. And now against Keegan Brown, are we going to see some real Michael van Gerwen magic as he tries to win this title for a fourth consecutive year? 9-1 he is overall in his favour in career meetings, most recently on the European Tour back in April when Michael beat Keegan Brown 6-0 in the quarterfinals and, almost needless to say, went on to win the tournament. Keegan Brown from the Isle of Wight beat a very subpar Benito van der Pas 6-3 in the first round. He only averaged, I'll say only, he averaged 89 in winning that match. I think if he's going to even put van Gerwen under pressure, he's going to have to put at least 10 points on that, Alan.
Yes, you would think so, but they play each other so often on the Players' Championship circuit, best of 11. It is short distance, yes, it's TV. Obviously, next round it goes up quite significantly. So the key is to get to the last 32 and to the last 16.
Well, I think in most people's eyes, Gary Anderson or Michael van Gerwen would be favourites to take this tournament, and Gary Anderson has done pretty much everything right so far, and an emphatic win we've just seen against Simon Whitlock, who incidentally comes from the same management group as Michael van Gerwen. What are we now going to see from MVG?
134.
Well, pretty good start. I want to maintain that all the way through to the final leg.
He had a fairly slow start last night, didn't he? And then
134.
kind of eased into a better frame of mind, found his distance, found his consistency, and ultimately beat
121.
Edgar, who didn't play badly, in all honesty, Matthew Edgar, but he was just too good for him.
Yes, his chances were limited, and that was the key. Yes, we know about the big scoring. It's about taking those opportunities at the right time and limiting your opponent to finishing the leg or having darts at a big finish or a double.
Keegan, a former world youth champion.
57.
Michael, a former world youth champion, runner-up, believe it or not.
What year was that? Going back about, what was it talking about there? About 2007, was it? Somewhere like 2006?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Somebody will doubtless tweet us and let us know. Or Keith Deller might know, the man who's our spotter for these tournaments.
Double 16.
And that's 1-0 Michael van Gerwen.
Second leg, it's Keegan to throw first. Game on.
A solid start from the world number one. Only seeded 3 for this tournament. Ian White had been the number 1 seed. First maximum, first of a few, you would venture to suggest.
Yes, he looks hungry for it, doesn't he? Yes, he's had some recent disappointments, but we forget sometimes that he's still the world #1.
And overall, 19 tournament wins this year.
Yes, they're certainly getting spread about amongst the professionals more on the pro circuit and, as we've seen recently, on the TV stage as well.
Standard overall of world darts is unquestionably rising. People
140.
say, you know, how does it compare with the great years of, I don't know, 20 years ago or so, when, or 25 years ago, when you were world #1 back in the early 90s, Alan? And the elite players, possibly, and you're talking about Phil Taylor, obviously there, but the elite players, probably not so much difference, but it's the strength in depth.
That's right, it's the players at the top. There's much more of them playing at this high standard. And that's really by virtue of the fantastic tours we have in the PDC, all the way from the Development Tour, Challenge Tour, up to the Pro Tour.
And that is a 12 darter for Michael van Gerwen, who is playing beautifully. 2-0, early days, but the average, I'll just pause for effect, it went up over 115 with
96.
that.
Yes, not too shabby. 14 darts and 12 darts, 2 maximums. It means business.
Highest average ever in this particular championship was 111 and bits,
80.
recorded by Phil Taylor. Michael van Gerwen might have that in his sights by the end of this, if he can maintain this sort of standard.
140.
Over on board 2. The young Dutchman Danny Noppert nicks the last leg on the double to beat Mervyn King 6-5.
'81.
A rare loose visit from van Gerwen. First maximum for Keegan.
80.
Yes, he needed that, didn't he? Not just to stay in the leg, but just to show Michael that,
96.
although he did know that anyway, but just to show him that he can score heavily.
Well, he can put that 88 under a bit of pressure here. Another treble 20 or a bull.
105.
So 88 for 3-0.
Yes, treble 20. Well, that's 18 for the bull, or treble for double 7. Oh, we like that one.
Beautiful. 3 doubles out of 4 now. 110 average and 3-0 up. Keegan Brown not playing badly. He's averaging 95, but he's been blitzed.
Yes, I mean, he's not had a dart at the double yet, despite averaging well into the 90s. Just shows you what he's up against. There you go.
Third maximum.
80.
Well, if any of you were unsure whether Michael van Gerwen could win another tournament recently, after recent
140.
defeats rather, here's your answer.
Well, when he's at his best, he is still an awesome competitor.
38.
And he'll be wanting to go to the Ali Pally in absolutely prime form. And of course, 100 grand to pick up here for the winner.
Yes.
59.
Nice wedge.
Very nice.
57.
Well, after the maximum, 2 pretty standard visits from Michael. It's given Keegan Brown a good opportunity here, but he's got to take it.
96.
Well, maybe not enough.
83. You require
Slip with the last one, I have to say. I should start on treble 19.
He's got it, I think.
Treble 16 was the second one, but it's a good setup there. Leaves himself tops.
143. He's looking at 19s. He's got one of them. Treble 18 he wants. He's got it for double 16. Oh, fabulous! 143. Just fabulous darts from Michael van Gerwen.
Well, absolutely brilliant from the world #1. This has been an absolute masterclass from MVG.
And that is maximum number 4 to add. There's a break at the end of this leg. I think Keegan Brown can't wait to get off. I hope that, well, I don't know what he'd be hoping for, that Michael van Gerwen trips down the stairs. I don't know.
Van Gerwen, 111 average. It's in Ian White territory, which is a strange thing to say. Sorry, Ian.
Second highest, only behind Taylor in the first round. His win, he averaged over 111, Ian.
Absolutely brilliant, yeah.
Sadly couldn't maintain that today. So MVG moving towards the break. Will he be leaving the stage with a 5-0 lead?
Well, he's so far ahead here. It's all down to whether Van Gerwen can miss the double more than Keegan Brown getting there first.
58.
Can't find the trebles now, can he? He's in a different game, really. Well, another treble 20 would have left double 12, but it's a perfect setup.
Absolutely outstanding darts, this from Michael van Gerwen. He's really focused, isn't he?
Yeah. Averaging nearly 110 and making a bit of a statement here. He's watched others playing well, and he's just proving here, or in his own mind, I'm sure, proving, watch this, boys, I'm number 1, I'm playing well, I'm averaging 109, and I'm beating a very decent player 5-0, and only need one more leg. In a hurry, 5-0, one more leg needed, and throwing Alan just brilliantly.
Game on.
Well, I'm not sure how long that first session was, but he was absolutely outstanding in every department. 5 out of 6 on the doubles, 4 maximums, at 1-4-3 finish. Incredible darts from the master.
100.
Yep, just brilliant. And Keegan Brown, as I said just before the break, he hasn't thrown particularly badly. He's not thrown great, but he's not thrown badly. And he's just not been in the same ballpark.
Yes, when you hit with this kind of barrage
34.
and you're not getting any attempts at the double, it's got to be soul destroying, because you're trying your best up there. Keegan's a very, very good player. We all know that.
99.
This is what can happen when these top players like Gary Anderson, who we've just seen, and Michael here, when they're in top form, just so difficult to beat. They just don't give you anything.
Well, we saw Gary Anderson for much of his match averaging round about 108, finally dropping down to 105 and bits as he came up towards the winning line, and Michael van Gerwen is averaging over 109, and he can finish it here. Well, he could have done if he'd had a second treble 20, but it's a great setup.
That really would have put the icing on the cake. Well, Keegan Brown yet to have a dart at the double. He needs treble 20 here for tops. No, just not to be.
88.
So this is for the match, double 18. Good marker. Oh, he's split it and he's missed it. Well, I'd have put a few quid on that wasn't going to happen.
Yes, I'm sure Keegan thought the writing was on the wall there as well. The only mistake in the match from Van Gerwen.
Seven-legged Michael to throw first.
A little rueful smile from Keegan Brown, and I think Michael van Gerwen will just be a little bit displeased with himself for not completing a perfect afternoon's work.
Yes, and maybe they're the kind of moments which has cost him recently. We saw him have darts against Raymond van Barneveld in the European Championships. He missed the opportunity for the match, lost it.
Steve West.
He also did it against Steve West. You know, these are the big moments
96.
that he's just failed to get over the line with, despite still playing pretty well.
He's played beautifully here this afternoon. Keegan Brown trying to just prove a point that he can throw some decent darts as well. But Van Gerwen again is bearing down on the finishing line. Can't find a treble there though.
Yes, it's just since he's come out from that break, he was flying in that first session. The wings have just been clipped slightly, but still an incredible
93.
lead.
100.
So 12 darts to 113.
This is
Terry Jenkins. Terry Jenkins, the last man to have beaten him in this tournament back in 2014. And he's not going to get beaten here. Bullseye! And he's got it. That's the match. An appropriately spectacular way to win it. He averaged 106, 6 doubles out of 10. And he has just stormed through, beating Keegan Brown 6-1. Who's going to stop him?
Well, a half-decent performance there from Michael van Gerwen. Not bad at all, is he? 106 the average. He could have finished Keegan Brown off even sooner had he taken his opportunities, but he won't mind too much because he is through to tonight's last 16 match. 60% on the checkout. Keegan Brown only having one double. He put it away, but he'll be back another day. MVG safely through, and the man he will play is not Darren Webster. Instead, it's someone else from East Anglia, Stephen Burton, this chap, in tonight's third round. He's a window cleaner from Ipswich, very much a working window cleaner as well. He's back to work next week, regardless of how far he does here. But he's victorious in the East Anglian Derby, and he's been reflecting on that match with Ned.
Well, time to introduce Stephen Burton to the viewing public, maybe for the first time, although you've been around a fair while now, Stephen. Now, the salient fact about you is you're a window cleaner from Ipswich, and as far as I understand it, after this you're going off to qualify for the Worlds on the Monday, and then Tuesday you'll be polishing the windows of Ipswich again.
Back at work Tuesday, yeah.
How do you find it balancing those two sides of your life?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to have a full-time job and try and dedicate yourself to play darts. Obviously, I've got 2 young boys, 2 twins and 9 months, so that's taken me a step back from dedicating to the practicing and things like that. But this year it's worked because I've played better darts than what I did last year. So, you know, this tournament here, I've got nothing to lose. I've played 2 good games, and just looking forward to whoever I play this evening.
You do seem to be confident on it. I mean, the way you bear yourself on the hockey, it does look like you're not afraid of anything or anyone, really.
No. You know, we're the 64 players who are here. We're all here on merit. We're all here for a reason. We can all play darts. It's just doing it on the big stage. I've played a couple of the European tours this year. There've been 6-5s. Unfortunately, I've been on the losses, but you know, this time yesterday I've got the 6-5 win, and confidence is high, and I had a good game against Darren today, and who knows? You know, who knows what can happen. Are
there any kind of players that unsettle you that you'd prefer not to play against? You know, without naming names. I mean, do the fast players get to you, or the slow players, anything like that?
Not really. I just
cool comers.
Yeah, I just play my own game and play the board, and you know, what will be will be. They either go in or they don't. So it's a game of darts. You win, you lose. I've still got to go home. I've still got to go to work. So what will be will be.
And 2 twin 9-month-old boys as well at home. That's a full-time job in itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do they stay up? Are they allowed to watch you play, do you think?
I think they've watched me today. Whether they'll watch me this evening, I think it will be a bit too late, and I think they'll be asleep. But no, you know, I'm doing it more for them now than for myself. So, you know, fingers crossed we can get another few wins over the weekend, and who knows? Yeah,
and you've got their initials on you.
Initials. Yeah, we've got F for Finley and Z for Zach. So, you know, they're always with me when I'm playing. So that's what I'm doing it for.
2 of your biggest fans, and you're winning plenty more fans the way you're throwing your darts in my head. So good luck to you.
Yep, thanks very much.
Cheers. Stephen. Nice to meet you.
Yes, huge congratulations to Stephen Burton. £8,000 better off at least. And he faces MVG tonight. Now, over on board 2 at the moment, these are live pictures. What a big match there is over there. Bully boy Michael Smith looking to go 3-1 up against Johnny Clayton of Wales. He was in fabulous form yesterday, was Michael. 6-0. He won his match. And who are we going to see tonight?
Game shown on 4th leg.
It is 2-2. Fantastic match for the fans over on board 2 in that room in there when they're piling in here tonight. Plenty of them later on. There'll be about 5,000 of them. Always a brilliant atmosphere here in Minehead. Well, now the 4th seed Peter Wright has not been at his very best of late, but he made short work of Tony Alcinas in round 1. And this afternoon, Snakebite takes on a young player who's on an upward curve. That is the German Max Hopp. Here's John McDonald.